And I'm so glad you got some of your books there. I had forgotten, packed my car, packed everything but your books. I was pretty frustrated with myself.
Oh, no,
But
that's
at least
fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
we got you on. I think our video's fine. And we
Okay.
got about 15 minutes.
Okay.
What I really wanted to do is talk a lot about your books, because I really wanted to promote them to teachers and coaches. Starting next week, I'm going to be doing a 8-week online camp just for Jefferson County public students. But
Oh,
what I really wanted to do, and they also hired me, contracted me to do some videos. What I really wanted to do is to promote this to the teachers, the coaches, that this becomes something that they do on an ongoing basis, not with a hit and miss, maybe one time, one semester, not again, but something they do on an ongoing basis. Now, you've written several books. One of them is right behind you there, Science, Math, and Checkmate. Have you seen a connection between academics and chess?
I think that teachers can make that connection. I don't think it happens automatically because I'm sure you can imagine a child just playing random move on a
Right.
chessboard without thinking. And that's not going to necessarily translate to better chess playing or to academics.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if teachers and chess coaches make some conscious connections between chess and academics, it can happen. And a pretty obvious one is the chessboard is labeled A through H and 1 through 8. And when you find points on a chessboard, that's the same as XY coordinate graph when you're learning to coordinate with X and Y, or it's very similar to finding a point on a map. So if you make those connections, you can connect chess and academics.
In one of your books, you talk about that. Which book is it?
Well, one of my books is Science, Math, Checkmate, 32 Chess Activities for Inquiry and Problem Solving, which there's a
Yeah.
picture right there. So that has a lot of connections between chess and science and chess and math, where I take objectives from those subject areas and show how chess can be used to teach those objectives.
Yes, yes. And also, I think I read in one of your books where I can't assume that everybody understands our terminology, but algebraic notation is a way as chess players record our games. And I noticed in one of your books you talk about how algebraic notation can potentially improve a young person's critical thinking skills and their reading skills. Can you talk a little bit
Yes.
about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my books is Read, Write, Checkmate, Enrich Literacy with Chess Activities. And you're absolutely right that the act of recording our game, which nowadays we do with algebraic notation, which actually uses that same chessboard I just talked about. For example, you move a pawn to e4 and you write that as e4, or you move your knight to f3, you write that as nf3, and nation for knight. But recording our games and then playing back through them and reflecting on what we did well and what still needs improving, it's an important habit of life, not just academics, to keep a record of what we do and think back how we could have done things differently or better, or what we did well. Give ourselves compliments too.
I noticed with one of my students, she did a recording. Actually, she did a recording, and I was impressed with the way she would describe things. Well, she captured her opponent's queen. As I was saying with one of my students, she was describing where she captured her opponent's queen and said, "My knight smacked her queen in the heart," and that was it. And it was just little things like that. And then at another student of mine, he was always sort of real good at just sort of reflecting on, well, if this person had done this, this could have happened. I'm thinking that maybe they were being a little impetuous. That's why when I read your book there and you talked about algebraic notation and connection between literacy and critical thinking skills, I saw that several times, but in particular with those two students, I saw that the way they were able to express themselves, terminology they would use, and things like that. And also, I would say to my students, it's important for us to record our games because it's important for us to record history.
Absolutely.
Very important to record
I do
history.
have another book actually about Let's see, People, Places, Checkmates, Teaching Social Studies with Chess. Because games have been recorded for so long, I was able to include a chess problem from the 9th century that we can still solve today in that book. So the record of our games is so important. And for us to look back on history and be able to replay those games and your own students' games for them to record for themselves and to share later with their children, what a great legacy.
I just love being able to talk to my students about different players and where they come from, and then asking them to find those countries on the map. Tell them about Richard Reddy, tell them about Maurice Ashley, going on like that. And then I said, now go find out where they're from and then go put a pin on where they're at. And it just sort of gives them an illustration there how global chess is.
And I have an activity in that People, Places, Checkmates book called Famous Chess Players. You might enjoy it. The kids have clues about what famous chess player they are, but they're written on the back, like you tape a piece of paper on the back. They don't know what famous chess player they are, but other people do. So they have to ask questions to figure out who they are. Am I from Jamaica? Am I a Grandmaster? Answer, Grandmaster Maurice Ashley. So it's kind of a fun party game to get to know some famous chess players.
And what book is that in?
That's also in People, Places, Checkmate, Teaching Social Studies with Chess, and it's an activity called Famous Chess Players.
Now, how can we get your books? Where do we go?
They're available on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com, just wherever books are sold online, or you can go direct to the publishers, but most people, I guess, these days just go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble.
Okay. And do you have a website?
In the emails I've sent to you, I give my Amazon links. People are interested in my books, that's probably the best place to go. Thanks for asking me about them. I appreciate it.
Been having them there with my other books for years, and it really has helped me a lot in my teaching. It's really helped me a great deal. And if the Board of Education was ever open to bring her down and maybe do a workshop with the teachers and all, are you available to do anything like that?
Actually, it seems like a year ago. It was actually just February. In February, I went to New York City and I presented for Success Academy, which is a charter school in New York City. The chess director is Gerald Times, and he had me present to 46 of his teachers, 30 elementary school teachers that teach chess as their job because it's elective, just like you would go to music class or PE or art or library. These kids rotate also to chess. And then at the middle school level, he had 16 of his middle school teachers there. It's an elective, so kids can choose to do it. And then also at the middle school and elementary school level, they have teams that meet additionally after school. So it's a very comprehensive program, and it was really delightful to present to these teachers about ideas for my books and about ideas for more girls in chess and that type of thing. So yeah, I'm definitely open to it. It's just that that trip was in the middle of February. I was able to fly there. My son actually came with me, and we went to a show on Broadway. And it's just amazing to me that so much has changed. Like, none of what we did on that trip we could do now. I would guess if I was asked to do an in-service now, it would probably be over Zoom like we're doing.
Oh, right. Okay. And don't you also teach a college course on chess?
I do. I teach 2 university courses on chess and education. So they're available to people all over the country, but you have to be college eligible. Like, I had a high school student recently email me and say, can I take the courses? And no, you have to wait till you graduate high school. So they're for 3 college credits. And the first one is how to use chess to write lesson plans that incorporate goals in chess and education, much like my books do. And the second course, you can either choose to develop a chess program, plan it out, or you can write about issues in chess and education. And some of those issues are girls and women in chess and education, people with disabilities in chess, cheating in chess, and racism in chess. So there's a lot of issues that the students can choose to write about.
So obviously, if you're a teacher, you can take that course. If you're a teacher.
Yeah. A lot of people have taken the course. I had teachers from, it used to be called Seattle Chess Foundation. Now it's America's Foundation for Chess. Their teachers took the course. I had a New York City school teacher take the course. So definitely there's people from around the country, and I've even had a student from as far away as Qatar take the course. People who are interested in chess and education and improving their lesson planning skills or their program development skills or exploring issues in chess and education. However, I have to say the majority of students are actually just normal UT Dallas students who are looking for an online course and who think, oh, this could be fun because there's chess is, you get to play some chess during it as well.
And what university do you teach from?
The University of Texas at Dallas. And after we get off the call, I can send you a link, not just to my Amazon page, but a link to the courses. So if you're posting this interview somewhere, you could include those links for people who want to follow up.
We definitely want to do that, and we definitely will do that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
This is the last question here. We got to wrap up.
Okay.
At your university, don't they have a college chess team, or do they have a college?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why probably we have these kind of unique courses. We don't have a football team, unlike most universities in Texas, but we have one of the very best college chess teams in the nation. Sometimes chess team members who are grandmasters and international masters will take my course, and that's always great to have high-level chess players in the course, but a lot of people who take my course are just beginners at chess.
And those guys on the college chess team, they're on scholarship, aren't they?
That's right. And that's something when you're teaching this next week to your students, I think that's an exciting thing to share for those students and their parents, that college chess scholarships, full ride scholarships, 4 years of tuition free and housing covered and books covered, all expense paid full ride scholarships are available for chess. And that's something that's been normal for an athlete to dream about that, but now chess players can also dream about that and work toward it as a goal.
I literally, maybe about an hour ago, just read an article in Chess Magazine where they were talking about that. Recruiting's become more and more competitive, and how more schools are saying, hey, let's build a powerful chess program.
In this challenging time, it's pretty hard to play a football game online, but chess programs at these major scholarship universities are already planning an online season for chess, because thankfully chess can continue online. I did mention cheating is a concern, but there are ways to try to get around that and to monitor for that. So I believe the universities will keep their chess programs, and maybe even more universities will add them as a way that's relatively pandemic proof to provide an outlet for students. Because when you go to university, it's not just taking classes. You want to compete at a sport or be a part of a club. I'm so delighted to get to talk to you. Your listeners may already know this. I wrote an article in 2013 about you and your work for Chess Life magazine. So we've been in touch before. So it's good to see that you're continuing your good work.
Yes, in fact, I just started a new nonprofit organization, Kentucky Chess Ambassadors, and doing pretty well, getting a lot of contracts. We just finished our June 20th online tournament. It's the first one we did. They had 65 players sign up. Every year I try to do a John Coltrane tribute tournament. We got one coming up July 17th.
Great. What platform are you using to run them on?
I hired a guy, hired a TD, chess.com.
Yeah, that's the biggest one.
I really want to find someone who can do livechess.org.
Oh, yeah. I always hear it as Lee Chess.
Yes, that's it.
That's also a huge platform. They both have pluses and minuses. I've definitely used both for my online courses. I have all my students join. I make a club for them on chess.com, and they all join that club every semester, and then I can run tournaments for them, or they can find each other for chess games so easily by being in that club. But I'm sure Lee Chess also has that type of clubs feature.
Yeah, they do. They do. All right. Well, Doctor, I appreciate this. Please get those links to me.
I will. I'll send them right off the call. Thanks so much for having me.
We'll have you again sometime. I want to talk to Dr. John Marshall about you. He's the head of diversity, equity, and poverty here at the Board of Education in Louisville, Kentucky. He's a fantastic educator, well respected in the community, and that man just loves him some chess. So
great. That's what you need. Someone in Education and Administration who's a chess backer.
He's definitely a backer. All right, doctor, I appreciate it, and I'll be in touch, okay?
All right. Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.